Back again, guys. Randy Orton, Fan 2011, here to bring you round 21 of 36 in Season 3 of the PORWC Pepsi Cup Series. This is the second stop of our Canadian tour. We have now reached Calgary, so this is another one of those super speedway / road courses, but it's more of a road course though. We will be making more left and right turns, so that is how it will be as we have reached Calgary for the second stop in our Canadian tour. So there are 6 races left in the regular season, and it's going to be interesting to see how everything transpires over the course of the next 6 races in this series. Of course, a couple of drivers wanting to get themselves into the top 10, other drivers trying to get themselves into better positions in the wild card, other drivers trying to just make the top 20, and then a couple other drivers just trying to lay back and hope for a good finish. So this track is pretty fast, I'll tell you that. It's a long right-hand turn, and then then I would say some left-hand, right-hand turns, and then another right-hand turn, and then it's a long downhill slope to the start-finish line. So we'll see how everything transpires over the course of this race after we take a look at the starting lineup. Look at your starting lineup. Joseph Lombard will be starting on the pole for the first time this season, and that means he is now eligible for the Sprint Unlimited in Season 4. Starting next to him is Tony Blazer, who has a lot of top 10s, but he's desperate for a podium finish. That's what he needs. He's going to need a podium finish if he wants to get himself back, or maybe even a win, possibly. He's going to need one of those if he wants to get himself back in the wild card hunt here. Next up is Charles Jackson, who is trying to get himself in the top 10 in points. There's our points leader, Ryan Richards, coming off a solid showing at Vancouver. Now has an 84-point lead over Anthony McCurry, who's starting 21st. So Ryan Richards having the season of his life. Let's hope he can continue that and once the playoffs start. Now, I do want to mention a couple of other things in the points. It's pretty close between 11th and 19th in the points. That's 9 drivers. 9 drivers, 11th through 19th in the points. They are within 14 points of each other. So one mistake, one slip up by one of those drivers could possibly mean a worse position in the wild card hunt. Now, we also want to mention Kyle Sosnowski in the 48 car. He is 18 points. He is 18 points back of Sean Galligan, who currently is 20th in the standings. Kyle Sosnowski is 21st. He does have that win though. However, since he is not in the top 20 in points, he is not eligible for a wild card spot. Remember, you want to be in the top 20 to have at least a chance at a playoff spot. And for Kyle Sosnowski, he's going to need to take advantage of Sean Galligan starting back in 26th if he wants to get himself closer to that 20th points position. All right, we're just about ready to fire up these engines. Here we go. It's time to go racing here in Calgary. Here we go. Green flag is out right from the start, and right away we got 3 and 4 wide action through turns 1 and 2. Look at how much banking turns 1 and 2 have. A lot of banking through those turns. And 3 and 4 wide through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be quite hectic through these turns. And someone's around. Cars are around. Liam Ervig. Liam Ervig, that's Sean Galligan. Sean Galligan's around, my bad. Kyle Sosnowski, Sean Henley, Ben Paul flipped over. Yellow flag is out. And again, they're still bunching up right around here. They're still bunching up around this area. It's really hectic throughout to see all these cars. And oh shit, Dylan Young got loose. Gonna slow up Liam Ervig and Jacob Lawler. Again, you don't want to get loose through turns 7 and 8 because you want to have a lot of speed through those turns. And Ryan Cooper, I believe, is in pit road, and Trent Dunham he's off the pace now. Trent Dunham well off the pace here. Who will beat the field to the line? I believe it will be Charles Jackson, who beats the field to the line. James McLeod second. Seth Cole third. Joseph Lombard fourth. Dylan Poteet rounds the top 5. And again, they really bunched up between turns 3 and 4 there, and that really bottled up the field, and that is what put us under yellow flag number 1 in this race. Let's take a look. We'll put us under the first yellow flag. Stay tuned. Here's what brings it yellow flag number 1 in the race, and it starts with a little contact. Richard Johnson going up the racetrack, making contact with Sean Galligan, who makes contact with Trent Dunham, and around goes Kyle Sosnowski. Ben Paul going to go up the incline here. That's a really hard incline right there. And right on top, look at that, right on top of Ryan Cooper. Right on top of Ryan Cooper. All these other cars, Alex Jones going to get in the middle of it. And I think Emilio Navarrete just barely missed that. Just barely missed avoiding getting another DNF there. So a bunch of cars getting involved in our first incident. I'll try to count how many cars got involved in that. Let's see, well, a couple cars, 1, 2, 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars. And so 9 cars getting involved in our first incident of the race, as will be Charles Jackson, who beats the field to the line. So we're under yellow flag at number 1 in this race. We'll see if anything else happens under the yellow flag, and then we'll get you back to green flag racing. We're back. Pierce is giving us the one to go. Here comes the top 10 rundown. Charles Jackson is the leader. James McLeod in second. Seth Cole in third. Joseph Lombard fourth. And Dylan Poteet rounds to the top 5. William Duncan's in sixth. Stephen Whitman in seventh. Lyndon Wright in eighth. Points leader Ryan Richards in ninth. And previous race winner Michael Norman rounds at the top 10. 4 cars of DNF from the previous incident: Ryan Cooper, Ben Paul, John Waycross, and Jake Cole. We'll take the restart on the halfway point of this race. And you know you want to lead this lap. Remember, every point is critical in a race like this as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season. Here we go. Green flag back out in the air for the restart on lap 6. And again, this is the halfway point. So whoever leads this lap gets an extra bonus point. Again, look at all that banking between turns 1 and 2, and Seth Cole going to have the inside advantage. Looking for the inside advantage, but Charles Jackson's strong through turn 2. And Seth Cole taking advantage right there, and he will take the lead. Again, look at all these cars bunching up right around here. Oh, contact right around there. Contact between Liam Ervig and Randy Carpenter, but they keep it together. Keep it together for now. Still no yellow flag out. And here they come to tight turns 7 and 8. And this is the point where you really need to have a lot of speed through the turns. You really need to have a lot of speed, so you got to choose which line, and Charles Jackson goes off course. Well, that is a tough break for Charles Jackson. Goes off course. Got forced off course. I don't know what happened, but he got forced off course, and that will be very tough to swallow for Charles Jackson. Look at him go down at 60 miles, at less than speed, and really no speed at all. And Seth Cole will lead at the halfway point, so he gets an extra bonus point. So that is huge for Seth Cole after finishing dead last at Vancouver. But James McLeod right on his tail. There's our special competition where Stephen Whitman, a bit of contact between a couple cars there. So a couple contact, and Seth Cole's off course. Seth Cole off course, and he's around. Barney Ward's around. Oh shit, more cars around. More cars around. Points leader! Points leader's around. Yellow flag is out again. Here we come racing back to the line. Again, which line do you want to pick? Do you want to have that inside line to get the positions right away, or do you want to have the outside line to have all that speed coming off turn 8? We saw Seth Cole, he led at the halfway point, but he just went off course again, went off course. Points leader Ryan Richards also went off course there. He got turned around by someone, I believe. As Joseph Lombard beats the field to the line, James McLeod second, Dylan Potey in third. Close battle for fourth. I believe James Silverfox will get it over Danny Wells. So we're under the second yellow flag of this race, and we'll take a look. We'll put us under yellow flag number 2. Stay tuned. This brings it yellow flag number 2 in the race. Look carefully at Seth Cole. Just gets into that incline, and that is like a wall. That is like a wall. You lose a lot of speed, and he gets really loose coming off the incline. He goes off course. So Seth Cole hitting that incline on this at that turn really cost him. And right there, he goes hard into Eric Burton. Eric Burton just nowhere to go. He just comes right up in front of him. And Lyndon Wright just head-on impact from Lyndon Wright into Seth Cole. Barney Ward also goes around. Now, something happened in front of these guys, and Ryan Richards was the main subject of this. Now, was there contact, or was this an deliberate? Oh, Pichu London. Well, actually, it looks like Anthony McCurry tried to give some drafting help to Ryan Richards, and then Ryan Richards didn't even know Pichu London was right there. Well, Pichu London actually bounces off Michael Norman, and that spins around Ryan Richards, our points leader. Ryan Richards on quite a roll. I believe he has had the past 8 or 9 races, he has finished in at least the top dozen. Well, that's not going to happen here in this race unless the miracle of all miracles occur. This is the race back to the start-finish line, and would-be Joseph Lombard beats the field to the line. So we're under yellow flag number 2 here. Hopefully we'll get a one-lap shootout to end this race under the green flag. And we'll see we'll see what the PORWC officials will say about that as we're under the yellow flag number 2. Stay tuned. We're back, Pacers. Giving us the one to go. Here we go. One-lap shootout to determine the outcome of this race. So this is it. If you wreck, you wreck. That is it. Here comes one more top 10 rundowns. Joseph Lombard, the leader. James McLeod, second. Dylan Potey, third. James Silverfox, fourth. And Danny Wells runs to the top 5. Michael Norman in 6th. Stephen Whitman, 7th. Anthony McCurry, 8th. Jacob Lawler, 9th. And Zohar Manood runs to the top 10. Seth Cole had the lead and now has fallen back to 5th to last. So, tough break for Seth Cole. Ryan Richards also fallen into the bottom 10 now. So, tough break for those guys. Unless the miracle of all miracles happen, they won't be finishing anywhere near the top 20. And here we go. This is it. Green flag is out for the final time in this race. And again, you want to pick your line, and then you also got to consider that long front stretch, where the start finish line is at the tail end of the front stretch. So you got to have the speed coming off of turn 8 if you want to lead. As it is Dylan Potey getting awfully close to that incline wall right there. And here comes Danny Wells looking for his first win of the season, trying to get himself into the wild card hunt. There's Stephen Whitman, he's already made the playoffs, and he's looking for his best finish of the season. Joseph Lombard also looking for his first win of the season. And there's a wreck behind, and I believe Kyle Sosnowski and Tony Blazer. A couple cars went around, but we are racing back. We are going to be racing to the line here. And here they come down the long front stretch. Remember, you want to have the speed. Joseph Lombard getting the drafting help out of Dylan Potey, but is it going to be enough before they get to the line? As they get closer and closer to the line, it doesn't look like Joseph Lombard will have enough. He might make one move. But it will not be enough as Dylan Poteet, our defending champion, takes the Scotiabank 400. Second win of the season for Dylan Poteet, and I believe that's his 8th career win in the Pepsi Cup Series. And I'm thinking right now, Dylan Poteet, I believe, is the leading all-time winner in the Pepsi Cup Series. 8 wins. He had 2 in Season 1, 4 in Season 2, and this will be win number 8 in his Pepsi Cup Series career. A big win for Dylan Poteet. That will most certainly help him out in the points. We also want to mention a couple cars went around. There were a couple cars that went around before we get to our official race results. So let's take a look at all those incidents that happened under the final lap. Stay tuned. This is the incident that happened on the final lap of the race, and Trent Dunham is running at a much slower speed. He's off the pace. He's off the pace here. There's Callum Wells and Sean Galligan trying to try to take it to the inside. Sean Galligan's going to make a bit of contact with Kyle Sosnowski, and that is going to get him into Wolfgang Mason, who gets into Tony Blazer. And Ryan Richards just getting clipped, but he's able to save his car. Now, I don't know how many other drivers are going to get involved in this, but looks like everyone was able to keep it together here. Well, that's just the action that happens over the course of the race. We just saw a lot of action going on there. This is the race for the win, and would be Dylan Poteet, with all that speed, chose the outside line at the end of turn 8, and he will take the victory in the Scotiabank 400 here at Calgary. And right there, Dylan Poteet is still our leading all-time race winner in the Pepsi Cup Series, and now we take you to your official race results. As look at your official race results, congratulations to Dylan Poteet. He takes his 2nd win of the season in Season 3. And a big win for Dylan Poteet. That will most certainly help him out in getting himself in, staying in the top 10 in points. Probably might get himself to 3rd, I believe, in points. Really considering how many points Dylan Young and James McLeod are ahead of him. Stephen Whitman comes away with his best finish of the season. I believe that is the run that he needs to get himself into the championship feel, as he has already made the playoffs, and we'll see if maybe a couple drivers may have made the playoffs already, but we'll have to wait and see after the course, in the points for proof. And Danny Wells coming away with a podium finish. That will most certainly help him out in the wild card hunt as well. James Qualls and Jacob Lawler finished 4th and 5th. Peter London, James Silverfox, Liam Ervig, Anthony McCrory, and William Duncan rounded the top 10. 11th through 20th are Michael Norman, Alex Jones, Sam Young, Richard Johnson, Zohar Manood, Sean Henley, Emilio Navarrete. Still can't get his best finish this season, but he'll have to sell for 17th. Red Bell, Dylan Young, and Randy Carpenter. 21st to 30th are Ricky Hawk, Trent Dunham, Sean Galligan, Austin Ogo, Ty Naughton, Ryan Richards, Cody Lamas, Wolfgang Mason, Callum Wells, and Charles Jackson. 6 more cars finished the race on the lead lap. Kyle Sosnowski, Tony Blazer, Lyndon Wright, Barney Ward, Seth Cole, and Eric Burton. 2 cars finished the race. 2 cars finished the race a lap down. We're trying to figure out something happened. I believe Joseph Lombard might have had an illegal part, and therefore he was penalized a lap. He did cross the line in 2nd, I believe. He did cross the line in 2nd, but he is being shown a lap down for having the ride too low in post-race inspection. So Joseph Lombard goes from 2nd all the way down to 37th. Tough break for Joseph Lombard, and James McLeod also failed post-race inspection. He will fall to 38th. 4 cars DNF from the race: Jake Cole, John Waycross, Ben Paul, and Ryan Cooper. So quite a lot of bad breaks for a couple drivers who wanted to get themselves in better positions in the points standings, and Dylan Poteet will take advantage of this race here, as we will go to Winnipeg next in our Canadian Tour, and we will have both the Nationwide and the Cup Series there in Winnipeg. So that is a place in Canada where my cousins live, so it's going to be an interesting race there in Winnipeg. Of course, we're going to see some great action there, and We'll see how the rest of the regular season transpires, as there are now 5 races left in the regular season before the playoffs starts. So we're gonna see how well everything turns out throughout the rest of the regular season. Alright guys, well that's it from Calgary. Next stop is Winnipeg in our Canadian tour. And remember, subscribe to me and become a member of the gang. This is Randy Orton Fan 2011 signing off. This race has been brought to you by Pepsi Next. Crisp, refreshing, amazing Pepsi Next. I'm out.